Hello there, this is Cookies. I have turn 39 of Asphodel, playing with iFlight's Pretender mod on the new Dream Atlas map style. And we find a few magic sites, so we're still trying to site search like crazy. So we're finding some stuff. So that's Singing Tree as well. So 2 glamour. So we get a fair number of hits this turn. And then now with the peace agreement, the war against Pythium's about to re-hit pretty hard, but Pythium's at least going to attempt to raid back his cap circle really quick. So we've got some Serpent Cataphracts. You know, the longer I think about it, I do think I potentially could have won a 2v1 or even 3v1 here. And I do think it would have been really exciting. So I'm a little sad I took the piece out. But another thing I really enjoy is late game, so seeing the late game also sounds great. As opposed to dying. Alright, so a number of these little Serpent Cataphract raids. That's cool. 2 little body ethereals, and then a body ethereal for himself. It's a cool little raid. We do get a monster boar we're going to have to patrol out. The Tritons finally attacked. After waiting forever, they kill a few mannequins. I suppose it's one of our only battles this turn, so we can watch it. So some of them land on the PD. Oh, this is true. They did get back towards my carrying commanders. So they wound this guy, they almost kill him. He loses an eye, gets a never healing wound, and he is scared out of his mind, so he's running away. But the Tritons have broken, and we still have some leadership, so we're in good shape. So it was closer than I remember. Namor turns into a forest. This is great. This is the Throne of Growth, so we can fort this throne. We get a little bit of population, and we get a hero. So right as we were about to drown these Twiceborn commanders to roll for d4s, the game just goes and gives us a d4. So we get Monsanto, the Grieving Dryad. Yeah, her name is Caria, but I've gone ahead and renamed her. So she's d4 naturally, so we're going to give her a Skull Staff, have her cast Twiceborn, then we're going to go ahead and forge the Death Booster. We don't have quite the death income just yet. So we don't have to trigger. Now, I think a fair number of players would trigger Twiceborn to get all this upkeep from the 15 panics off their roster. You can get a lot more Dryads that way. But I do kind of like having, I don't know, I like playing for the second form. So, but other than that, continuing to move stuff around, continuing to focus on site searching. I'm working on getting different like groups of mannequins put together. We're filtering out along the border here, getting ready to vulture, because I'm definitely not going to let all this stuff take all this. That is for sure, if I can help it. Alright. We are going to go ahead and get a Troll King this turn. That should help with our magic diversity quite a bit. We've got this Etten that we're thinking about gearing out. We got him from an event a couple of turns ago. And we've got a big group of sacreds and mannequins that we've sent back underground to Gulm, because if we do fight Scalaria, we'll want to be able to counter anything from that fort. But they're going to hang out in Gulm for the moment. And I think that's it for this turn. It's a pretty quiet turn. In terms of research, we're going to finish up construction 7. we've moved up Conjuration 8 for Well of Misery after talking with Machaka about that split. Moved back some of the combat magic, so this is the combat magic we're looking at. Awakened Forest would just be a pain in the ass, make it a complete pain in the ass for anyone to invade us, because any panic with a few gems can, and maybe a Thistle Mace, they might need a Thistle Mace. They can, yeah, I think they do need the Thistle Mace, but they can cast Awakened Forest, and then it just becomes a complete pain. You have to deal with several hundred trees. It's spending 2 or 3 gems for a free army for a turn. It's pretty insane. So we've got that going for us, but we're feeling pretty confident at the moment, so we're going to go for the Conjuration research. Calum's feeling somewhat confident. We've helped him gear out his Pretender. We're continuing to send some stuff to Calum. His fort's not cracked. And other than that, continuing to conduct some research. So I will go ahead and see you guys in turn 40. All right, so I've got turn 40 pulled up here, and we get a message from End. So Warren 3, so End's ending our nap. And I don't know if that was some confusion where he was intending to join up with Nidavellir and Machaka, and they didn't tell him that he had signed a peace agreement, or if he's just feeling confident because I don't have much stuff on or even near his border. But, okay. Maybe he's got Firestorm communions. We're going to find out. So I just moved everything to the Nidavellir border, then everything to the Calum border. Now I get to move everything to the End border. That does mean I need Calum to do big things here, and we've got a fight in Calum. So let's see how that might inform my decision making. And it's a single Seraphim running out to ping the Scaleria army. Okay. Then we've got the noose tightening around Pythium. So this little group of cataphracts runs into the Pretender, kills some of the leadership. So they've routed, so might actually make it a little harder to kill some of them, because some of them might run back to the capital. In Bountiful Land, we've got a whole bunch of Spooters. And a little bit of Banefire. I think killed one of his Black Hunters with it. And then we've got Shiniyama really going on the offensive, pushing Abyssia. So End might have pieced out with Abyssia with the intent of potentially fighting me, which left Shiniyama in an advantageous war with Abyssia. We've got 2 big merc companies here. I think this is Fordo Boggett's Bergmeister Guard. Yeah. And then we've got the Pikeneers from that mercenary party. So plus a few Dai Bakemono. So loses a fair number of them, but realistically it only loses 4 Dai Bakemono and 7 Bakemono Show to knock out all this PD in Lupia. Oh, we have a bunch of people leave. We get some unrest, and Black Dryad gets wounded. There's also a death and disease event going on right now. Oh, so Calum says he's killed a couple of raiding parties. Things look to have stagnated a little bit. His fort's still not cracked, but I need to respond to the End army. We've got a big stack here. We can see that Pythium screwed, big End, Machaka, and Nidavellir armies getting ready to move on the capital again. And yeah, so now we get to rotate all the way back up. So we're going to have a fair amount of stuff coming on. It's a lot of logistics stuff where the plan is to grow a fort in Namor, so we need to get a lab and a temple up pretty quickly. And so we're going to gather our main army in Namor so that it can respond to the end border, and then we'll put out raiding parties along the entire border. There was an Indy attack that took this province from Ind, so Ind could definitely take that and try to come in from there. In terms of what we're doing, we're getting a Flame Spirit, we're getting some Draconians, we're getting a Ring of Returning, and a Skull Face. So making a lot of gear, plus an Iron Face. No messages going out this turn. We could check next turn. I know the Rhyme Hauberk is for Calum because we figured out some stuff. So the idea is to try and build a protection tank because he does have a lot of cold scales here. Even in the middle of summer, he's got cold scales. So the idea is a really nice protection tank based on cold. So that should be able to help him. I think there's also a shield that adds ice protection. So if we can stack ice protection up enough, maybe he can, get a really nice protection buff. If he somehow makes it until winter, that would be maybe like cold 5 or something, and he'll have plus 10 protection. Even right now, that would be plus 4 protection, which is still pretty nice, plus the armor itself. In terms of research, we're at around 1500 because we're having to move all our mages again. So getting hit there. We're also doing a lot of foraging for Calum and ourselves and a lot of summoning. But the Conjuration is having to take a back seat. We're aiming for Evo 7 again to get Winds of Death. And then we're running up Alteration, because there's just a lot of stuff for us in higher levels of alteration. So, for instance, there's Group Iron Skin potentially. We unlock Frozen Heart, Soul Vortex, Skeletal Legion, Darkness, Venomous Death, Transformation, Wooden Warriors, Giant Warriors, Gift of Displacement. We haven't broken up to Glamour 3 yet, but we could do Invisibility with gems, although it's just for the caster. So probably wouldn't do that. And then up at Alt 7, we get Phoenix Pyre for our new Fire Mage. And we get some stuff our Pretenders can do, like Fog Warriors, Arrowfend. Now that we're breaking into other paths, potentially Marble Warriors comes online. We can Doom with an Astral Booster. We can do Will of Fates, which would be pretty good. Oaken Army, Creeping Doom, Curse of the Frog Prince. Then up at Alt 8, we get even more stuff. We get Army-Wide Resist, potentially Army of Mist from our Pretender, Liquefy from a Sea King, which could be pretty good. Marble Army, Wizard's Tower even could be decent. Army of Giants, Polymorph, Disintegrate, which is really great against Nidbethets as well, because it kills all the Scar Souls at once. And then again, if we make it to Awakened Forest, we're going to be very difficult to invade. So it would take a Doom stack with a lot of temporary gem gens. So yeah, looking forward to all of this stuff. Continuing to recruit more mages, get more harpies, make more dreamstones. And yeah, we're going to have a war. I don't see any reason to peace out of this one. Machaka and Nidavellir have other things to do. We have a long peace with them. Shinyama is going to be busy with Abyssia. Nabas still hasn't killed Barignon for some reason. I don't know if they're just staling a lot or just logging in, hitting in turn, and not bothering because they don't have time. I don't know what's going on here. He should have killed Marignon by now. And yeah, and then we've got a very active player with the Kalem cap defense, so we're hopeful he can hold off there. Might have to get some water. All right, and we're making our skull face this turn. So I think that's it for this one. We're going to have another war very soon, maybe another setup episode, and then we get to see some action. And I think that's it for this one. I think this has been 2 turns. So I'll go ahead and cut this one off a little bit short, and I will see you guys in the next one. Yeah, you can see our army graph going ham, research graph. I'll flick through this really quick for anyone interested in the numbers of stuff that I have. So yeah, have a good one, guys. Take care.